Hello everyone, I am Professor Niki Eshtiaqi from RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia. And welcome to Innovative Calls. This channel is here to help us share skill, experiences, and knowledge so we can all do well in our study, research, and careers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you don't miss any of our helpful content. In today's episode, we are continuing our discussion on self-regard and its impact on our academic and professional success. If you remember from previous episode, we introduced the concept of the self-regard and explained how important it is to understand and accept ourselves. Today, we are going to dive deeper into three components of the self-regard: awareness, acceptance, and attitude, and how they influence our approach to challenges, both academically and in life. We used two university students, Joe and Dave, to explain how these components play out in real-life situations. One student has a better understanding and acceptance of himself, while the other struggles to accept his weakness. We will see how their reaction and performance differ based on their level of the self-regard. First of all, it is good to have a brief review of three components of the self-regard, and that are awareness, acceptance, and attitude. Let's imagine self-regard as a set of three circles. One circle inside the other. This circle represents the three key components that shape how we view ourselves and how we approach life. The first and innermost circle represents awareness. This is all about knowing who you are, your strength, your weakness, your values, and your abilities. Awareness is the foundation of self-regard. If you have a strong sense of self-awareness, you have a clear understanding of where you excel and where you might struggle. This gives you a realistic sense of what to expect from yourself and help you plan accordingly. However, if your self-awareness is weak, you might not fully understand your capability. You could either overestimate your strength or fail to recognize the area where you need improvement, which can lead to confusion and frustration when challenges arise. The second circle, acceptance. The second circle represents acceptance. This component is about how you react to your awareness of yourself. After understanding your strength and weakness, do you accept them as they are, or do you try to ignore or deny certain aspects of yourself? Acceptance means recognizing that your weaknesses do not make you any less valuable. It's about being at peace with who you are, both your strength and your limitation. If you accept both your strength and weakness, you will feel more confident and open to growth. If you do not accept your weakness, you may become defensive or overly self-critical, which can hinder your ability to learn and improve. The outer circle, attitude. The outer circle represents attitude. This is how you feel and behave based on your awareness and acceptance of yourself. Your attitude reflects the way you approach challenges, opportunities, and interaction with others. If you have a strong awareness and high acceptance, your attitude will be positive and realistic. You will feel confident in your ability to succeed, even when faced with difficulties. You will be open to asking for help when needed and be willing to learn from feedback. However, if your self-awareness is weak and you do not accept your weakness, your attitude might be less positive. You may avoid asking for help or deny your limitation, leading to stress and frustration. Your attitude could become defensive, self-doubting, or overly self-critical, make it harder for you to succeed. So let's see how awareness, acceptance, and attitude work together. These three circles, awareness, acceptance, and attitude, are deeply connected. The attitude you express is the result of the process that happens inside the two inner circles. Your self-awareness and your reaction to the degree of acceptance. The degree to which you understand and accept your strength and weakness directly influence how you approach the world and how you handle challenges. Here's how it works. Higher self-awareness and acceptance lead to a stronger attitude. When you have a clear understanding of your strength and weakness and you accept them, you will approach life with a realistic attitude. You won't be overly self-critical, nor will you be in a denial about your challenges. Instead, you will feel confident in your ability to face obstacles and will take the proactive steps to improve. Your attitude will reflect calmness and confidence. Weaker self-awareness and lesser acceptance result in a weaker attitude. When your awareness is unclear and your acceptance is low, your attitude toward challenges become unrealistic. You might overestimate your ability or overly self-critical. Your reaction to obstacles will likely be defensive and you may struggle to deal with the challenges effectively. This results in frustration, confusion, or avoidance, making it harder to succeed. To understand how these concepts work in practice, let's look at the two university students, Joe and Dave, and see how their different level of the self-awareness and acceptance affect their attitude and academic performance. First, let's look at Joe's experience, a stronger self-awareness and acceptance. Joe has a good understanding of who he is. He knows his strength and weakness and accepts both. Joe is excellent at modeling chemical reaction, but writing paper is a struggle for him. Instead of avoiding his weakness, Joe acknowledges it and works with it. Here is how Joe handles an assignment. Joe understands that he is great at modeling chemical reaction, but he finds writing difficult. His self-awareness helps him recognize that writing is an area he needs to improve. Acceptance. Instead of feeling bad about his struggle with writing, Joe accepts it. He doesn't beat himself up about it. Instead, he sees it as an area of growth. Joe knows that everyone has an area where they need improvement, and he is comfortable with that attitude. Because Joe is self-aware and accepts his limitation, his attitude is confident and realistic. When he gets a writing assignment, he doesn't get stressed out. He knows that. Although writing is tough for him, he can seek help. He asks his friends who are good writers to review his work. He also practices and asks for feedback from professors. Joe's attitude is proactive and calm, which leads to success. His willingness to seek help and his openness to learning not only improve his writing skill, but also create a supportive environment for his friends. Now, we can compare it with Dave's experience, a weaker self-awareness and lesser acceptance. In contrast, Dave has a weaker understanding of his strength and weakness. He tries to convince everyone, including himself, that he's good at everything and doesn't need help. Dave doesn't fully recognize that writing is difficult for him, and he certainly doesn't accept it. He tries to do everything on his own, which leads to frustration and delays. Here it is how Dave's handled the same assignment. Awareness. Dave isn't clear about his weakness. He knows writing is hard, but he doesn't admit it or think about why. He may think that if he just works hard enough, he will be able to handle everything by himself. Acceptance? Dave doesn't accept that his skill in writing is a weakness. He feels that admitting any weakness would make him look inadequate. As a result, he refuses to ask for help, even when he is struggling. Attitude? Because Dave lacks both awareness and acceptance, his attitude is one of frustration and stress. He tries to handle everything on his own, which leads to delay and incomplete work. He promises that the task which he never is able to finish it before the deadline. His attitude becomes defensive, and he is reluctant to seek feedback or collaborate with others. This makes him feel overwhelmed and less confident in his ability. So, these two examples clearly demonstrate how important are awareness and acceptance. The key takeaway here is that self-regard, especially awareness and acceptance, directly influence your attitude. The more you understand and accept yourself, the more realistic and confident your attitude will be. With a stronger self-awareness and healthy acceptance of your strength and weakness, you will approach challenges with a balanced, growth-oriented attitude. To improve your self-regard, focus on the following. Increase your awareness. Take time to understand your strength and weakness. Ask yourself questions like, what am I really good at? And where do I struggle? You can ask others for feedback to get a clear picture of yourself. Accept both your strength and weakness. Embrace who you are. Recognize that everyone has a strength and area for improvement, and accept that both are part of who you are. Cultivate a realistic attitude with a greater awareness and acceptance. Your attitude will shift toward confidence and openness. You will approach the challenges with a sense of calm and the belief that you can succeed, even if you need to ask for help or practice to improve in a certain area. When you strengthen your self-awareness and acceptance, your attitude will naturally become more confident and you will approach life challenges with a realistic and positive outlook. I have included the reflection question for self-assessment in the description below. I encourage you to check them out. Reflect on your own self-regard and think about how you can improve it. Thank you for joining today's episode of Innovative Calls. If you enjoyed the discussion, please give the video a thumb up and share it with others. Remember, this channel is all about helping and supporting each other by sharing our experiences and skill. I encourage you to share your own story and reflection. Let's learn from each other and grow together. Goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next episode.